On my way back to Staten Island, and honestly, since I didn't want to risk being caught by the driver again on the same day, I decided to just go all the way to the back, right above the tag axle of my first Yukon Prevost. Additionally, the bus was so crowded that there was even a person that had to sit next to me. I just also want to point out the ironic fact that this is my first time taking an express bus where the driver is a woman. Now, this is by no means being critical, because one thing I must commend is for all the women that are watching this video in particular, when it comes to driving, you're more patient than we men, to be honest. Additionally, I know some who are actually bus drivers. Like I could immediately think of one friend of mine who's a bus operator for New Jersey Transit, and I forgot which garage she works at, but I know her garage includes some Suburban Nobbies and D4000s, if they haven't been upgraded by now, of course. Additionally, I've also taken some trips where the drivers were women. For instance, I can automatically think of 2 Excelsior trips that I've been on, and I just wanted to bring that out. Now, going back to the person that was sitting next to me on the express bus going back to Staten Island, I'm honestly happy with a few things. First off, I'm happy that he didn't stay with me on the bus stay next to me on the bus all the way back to the transit center where I would go and pick up my car. And second, I'm happy that even though we are still in the middle of a pandemic, I'm happy that he wasn't sitting next to me during the height of the rapidly expanding Omicron variant. Although, don't get me wrong, when he got off the bus, and nothing against the individual in particular, it's just when someone is too close to me or like whatever varying circumstances, I immediately grabbed the nearest hand sanitizer to be able to disinfect as much as possible. Now, I must commend many of you that have been watching, that have been doing how you've been doing your best to like take proper safety precautions during this pandemic. Like, many of you have been able to mask up, many of you have been able to practice social distancing, practice good hygiene. I'm probably not the only one that washes my hands for more than 20 seconds, to be honest. And good recommendations on being vaccinated if necessary. Because let's face it, for some of the reports that have been on the news and everything, one thing that has affected some during the pandemic is not so much of the ones that have been vaccinated. It's just sometimes with regards to the COVID pandemic altogether, this has been basically a virus that may not affect the person that's carrying it, but ends up getting transmitted to others, and those are the ones who often get affected. So that's why it's been a good recommendations to, of course, wear a mask, practice social distancing, and have good hygiene. And I must commend the ones where, even though they may have received all the vaccinations that are necessary, I commend them for ones that, even though they're vaccinated, they still decide to practice these safety guidelines regardless, because that does help to reduce the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic and also the Delta and Omicron variants. Either way, what safety guidelines have you been able to take to heart? Let me know in the comments.